I'm going to just go ahead and officially kick this
Great.
off. First, I just want to say a couple of quick things. I want to apologize to everybody for changing the date of this one. I've usually keep it on the second Tuesday of every month. This month we got thrown off a little bit because we had our regional awards in South Florida. So I was pretty much told I better be there. So, you know, when you get told that, and I'm on the ALC, so it was kind of a requirement. But the good news is that my team won second place for most luxury sold in South Florida. So that was kind of fun. And so I got a little luxury event in there, even though I wasn't here on the Zoom. So that was fun. We will be back to the second Tuesday of the month next month. Steve Epstein will be our host or our guest then. I'll still be the host and he will be our guest. So that'll be exciting. And then we had family reunion since the last time I saw you guys, I think, right? Family reunion was amazing. Did anybody go to family reunion? Raise some hands. All right. Well, I had a great time at family reunion. I know I saw a couple of you there. And thanks for those who came to our panels. Irene was a speaker. I was a speaker. So thank you if you came and saw one of us. And Irene, I know I saw you at the Luxury Mastermind. That was amazing. The one that the first one was actually my favorite one, where we went around and came up with like some of the best things to ask our sellers.
Yes.
And I'm just going to read a couple of these before we jump in, okay? Because they were really great. And these came from Brady, brainstorming, and then Brady shared his thoughts with us. So we had, help me understand what's important to you in the house sale experience. Great way to understand your client. What have you loved about living here? And that's a great one because that tells you what's important to your seller, what they want to see in your advertising, and the things that you can sell to your potential buyers. Another one that he said is, if you could change one thing about the house, what would you change? I thought that was brilliant because if there's something that you would change, that kind of opens the door to the feedback from buyers when buyers come and they say, well, you know, I don't care about this thing in the house. I like the house, but I don't like this thing. And that way it softens it a little bit when we give that feedback. So I really liked that. And then of course the standard, what is important in working with an agent. This was one, I really like this one. Irene, yeah.
I got one. When have you had a really great real estate experience and what was it like?
Yes, that was my next one I was going to read.
There you go. I really like that because sometimes it's so simple. We often overcomplicate things. And sometimes it's such a simple thing, regardless of price point, that in your head, you're thinking, really? Okay, well, if that's what you thought was great, because it's personal.
Yep, we'll go with that. All right, so I just wanted to share some of those with you guys because I thought those were fun. So now let's just get started with Irene. Irene is from Canada, so she is zooming in from far away. Thank you for making the trek here, Irene.
My pleasure. I went from one side of the office to the other, so thank you for acknowledging that. Sorry,
good job. You got some steps in, right?
I'm making no, I literally just turned my chair around. I'm making notes because I find, you know, when you teach, you learn. So if you see me looking down, I'm really just making notes on our conversation. I'm not being rude, I promise.
That's great. I do the same thing. So welcome. I met Irene. I don't even remember if it was at a mega camp or a luxury event. I don't remember which one we met at, but you know, I met her and was lucky enough to have dinner with her and just fell in love with her. So I wanted to have her come and speak with you guys. She comes from a different perspective, coming from outside of the country. So I love that, that we're able to do this internationally. I know we've seen some of you viewers on here from other countries. So now we're bringing you another country. So Irene, tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into real estate? Which I think you've been doing this like 32 years. Is that right?
I started when I was 12, yes.
12, okay. And what got you into this?
Well, you know, it was really by fluke and like some young people kind of just falling into it, Sandra. I was taking my psychology degree at the University of Toronto, and really didn't think that I would be doing anything in psychology, because after 3 years, I kind of weaned myself off of that idea. And when I finally got my degree, I was kind of floundering and really didn't know much of what to do. And I had a friend in real estate who seemed to always be busy. He seemed to always be making money. He seemed to always be having fun. So my partner at the time said, "Hey, listen, if he can do it, you can do it." And that, coupled with the fact that I really, really, really wanted to help people, I think we really do initially get in with that mindset. I think if you don't, you're probably doomed. And then I wanted to make the kind of income that would be proportionate to the amount of effort that I wanted to put in. And that was a big one, because I had a job where I got a $1,000 raise between the first year and the second year, and I didn't make any difference. So it was a combination of those things. And interestingly enough, very soon after I got into real estate, it turned out that that friend of ours, who seemed like he was successful and happy, really wasn't. It was all a show. But
Oh, wow.
it helped. It helped. I'm forever grateful for that meeting.
That's great. That's great. That somebody you thought was successful got you into the business, and then he actually turned out to be what we see a lot of agents that are selling a good story. They may not be
Yes.
selling a lot of houses, but they're selling a good story. So always good to find out the truth behind when you pull the curtain back, like what's really going on there.
You got it.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, I think that one of the things that I think is so special about you is the relationships that you build. That, I would say, is one of the most important things that's behind your success. Would you agree with that?
110% for sure.
So, tell us a little bit about what that looks like. How are you developing relationships, and how are you nurturing them?
Sure. Maybe before we jump right into that, I can give you some more background just about my team, because that's where it starts. My husband joined me 19 years ago, and he's now, well, he's been my business partner. He's the OP, that's KW speak for owner, of our market center. He does big picture planning with us on the team, and then the majority of his work is the market center and his 95 agents. The admin team that we've selected is very, very well. They were very carefully picked, and we keep growing that side of the team to make sure it's proportional to the level of service that we want to provide to clients. So as of December, we had a client care manager and a sort of marketing sales partner, and then a part-time marketing coordinator. And now we have the client care manager, a full-time admin, the gal that was sort of floating around, she's now our events coordinator, and we have a full-time marketing person. And at the end of December, we had 3 agents, including myself, and now we have 5. So we're very, very heavy on the admin support for the number of agents, because we want to make sure that the service level that we promise can be delivered no matter how busy we get. And we want to make sure that it's scalable, because the relationship has to start with that. We have to either present an incredible experience for the clients who we're working with, or we do have a lot of business that we get from people who aren't clients. So people in the farm or people in our sphere that we've never bought or sold with, because they just haven't done any transactions, but they see what we do, how we treat clients, how we promote ourselves, what we do on social media. I'm very careful about our footprint as well. So all of that has to happen in order for me to be able to capitalize on the positivity of the relationship. And everybody has to be trained in that.
So it's the whole team. It's not just 1 or 2 agents. Everybody has to have the same level, the same standard.
Exactly. Well, and they have to be standards, not suggestions. That's our task for 2024, is making sure our standards are met. And it's not just me talking and having people sort of, do their own thing. And when you have a big team and lots of agents, that may not be as important, but when you're a small team and tight knit and you have a high average price point, it's critical. Well,
sorry. I don't have a huge team. I have a medium-sized team, and it's, I would say, absolutely critical for us as well, that everybody's on the same standard, not just our agents and our admin, but also our vendors. So that's
Yes,
one area that
absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing that I love to hear more from clients who are happy about, oh, your team was amazing, you guys are amazing. And you know what? Everybody else that you brought into this house was amazing. And that's important because whether you're a solo agent or have a team, everybody around you is your team, and it is your they're representing you. So they need to have the same level of care and service for your clients that you do, or else it reflects bad on you, badly.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's hard because, you know, we all get running, right? We're running. We need to get a referral to somebody, you know, somebody to paint a house or this or that. And sometimes we don't have that great person because the one we've been using hasn't been showing up. And so it does take a lot of time on our part to find that good person, to make sure that we have somebody that has a good reputation and a good referral. So I think that's an area that sometimes people cut corners because it's just hard. It's not that easy to have a great, you know, book of vendors that actually will show up and represent you well.
We work really hard on that, and we cull it regularly. So if someone is not doing a great job, or if there wasn't a good experience, sometimes the vendors, the trades, the professionals, whatever we want to call them, reach out to me themselves and say, you know what, like, things actually didn't really go well, and this is why. And sometimes it's their fault and they own it, and sometimes it's the client. I mean, you know, the client isn't always right. We always want to make them feel like they are, but that's not the case. So we do have a really good relationship with our professionals in that respect, and we get a ton of referrals from them because we're building relationships with them as well. So we sold a loft to our mortgage broker about a year and a half ago, and he's one of the busiest mortgage brokers in the city. So out of, like, I don't know, I think he's got about 250 or 300 agents that he deals with on a regular basis, and he called us for help. Our home inspector, who's the same thing. Like, those were the two big ones. So that's a real honor when we get that, because it really solidifies the idea that we're doing something right.
Yeah, no, that's
Because
great.
they're watching, right? They watch.
They're watching and they see everybody because they're in the business. So they could have chosen anybody, but they chose you. So that's a huge compliment. That's better than any Google review.
I agree 100%.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what the relationship looks like. How do we develop a relationship and how do you maintain it?
Well, we could probably do a whole half afternoon or a half day on that. I would say it comes from caring and understanding first, and being really authentic and genuine about that, and not being attached to the outcome, and really making sure that everything we do is in the client's best interest, and is really looking after them and helps them make the best decision. I'll give you an example from last week. It was a tough one, but it was a really good testament to what I just talked about, helping clients make the best decisions. I've been working with these folks for about 2.5 years. They were very back and forth through that process on building/renovating their existing home, and buying a new one. And we were back and forth a couple of times. There was one offer. We sort of started working our way up in price. They had submitted an offer about a year ago on a $4.9 million house, over asking with no conditions. And the owner didn't respond.
Wow.
Yeah, just so you know, that doesn't happen very often. It was a very, very strange situation. So fast forward to these past few weeks, and we also submitted an offer on a $5.5 million house. We had a verbal agreement of $5 million, and my buyers backed out at the 11th hour before it was in writing. Now, our process is a little bit different than yours. I know when you guys have an accepted contract, you have a lot of stuff that can happen to have it fall out. Our process for that is very short. It's only 3 to 5 business days once an offer is accepted. Okay. But the terms were accepted, but my clients didn't sign off on it. And I knew something was going on. And they like almost ghosted me, which never happens to me, but they admitted later that night that they just got totally stressed out, and they ultimately decided that yes, they were staying to do the reno.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah,
now what does it look like now? Obviously your feelings are probably a little bit hurt. What do you do now?
a little bit. Just make them feel good about their decision, because they were extremely embarrassed. They're wonderful clients, wonderful, wonderful clients. And they were so embarrassed that she said, like, they live in the neighborhood. She said, I was afraid that if I walked out the door with my dogs, I'd see you, and I just did not know what I'd say.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really sweet. I said, listen, this is us helping you make a decision. You made the decision that was right for you. Would I like to sell a $5 million house? Sure, but it's not about me, it's about you. And so I need two things from you. I need you to replace yourself, and I need you to write us a 5-star Google review. Just don't say that you never bought a house. And she laughed, because she was saying, like, you've been so great and so patient and so helpful, and we trust you. And, we know so many agents. She actually admitted that one of their very good friends is an agent. I never knew that.
and now the fact that you treated her so understanding and really treated her well, she's probably going to work hard to get you referrals because she does feel bad. And you were so
Absolutely.
gracious about the way you handled her. So my guess is you're going to get some good referrals from her. And I'm assuming she did the 5-star review.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'll be double checking this week to make sure that she does.
All right. All right. Let's make sure she does that. Yeah. And it's funny, when things fall apart, like we do want to look at it and say, well, what can we get out of this? Like, yeah, we worked hard. We did all these things. So, like I have my agents do the same thing, ask for the Google review, even though we didn't sell a home
Mhm.
because we worked really hard. So why should we not get that review and get that acknowledgement? And, it's not a $5 million commission. However, it does help and it does make you feel good about moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, we can't look at the money, because if we do, we're going to be losing sight of what's really important. And then these are people's lives. It doesn't matter what the paycheck is.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So when we were talking, you were talking to me a little bit about your door knocking and how that plays into
Yes.
relationships. And I want to just preface this because I know a lot of people on this Zoom probably are cringing just hearing the word door knocking, and that's okay. I've never been a big door knocker either. I have agents on my team that are door knockers and some that aren't. So it's not necessarily for everyone. However, I think that the concept, bless you, the concept that you're going to share applies to everybody, whether you're a door knocker or not. I think you can take something from it. So don't tune out just because you heard door knocker.
Yeah, Sandra, you're right. It doesn't matter how you meet a person, right? I just happen to be meeting them at a door in some cases. I could be meeting them at a Rotary meeting or at a community meeting, or at an open house, although I don't do those as much anymore. Like the idea is you're meeting somebody and you're there to establish a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were chatting yesterday, either you're looking to see if they might potentially be buying or selling or investing somewhere. And I say that because we really push our international connections. Those of you that are Facebook friends with me, I'm sure you see my Friday posts. I'm always promoting an international listing just to help people understand how global Keller Williams really is. And I'm there to see, is there any business from them directly, or do I like them enough to stay in touch with them, or at least can I create a relationship with them? I don't have to love them. They don't have to be my best friend. But I don't want to have people that are mean and nasty. I'm trying to stay in touch with. So the people that I do have a good connection with, regardless of how I meet them, I give them my agent of choice speech. So, Sandra, it was really nice to meet you. I know you're not moving anywhere, but I really enjoyed our conversation. I think, we have a lot of similarities in common, or whatever, reference something from the conversation. If somebody that you cared about needed a realtor, do you have someone you trust to recommend to them? And if they say yes, say, wonderful. Here's my card. Please have me as a resource if I could ever be a second opinion. And if they don't, it's, well, you know what? I'd really love the right to earn the opportunity to, or said this yesterday too, it's backwards. I'd really love the opportunity to earn the right to be that agent. So is it okay if we stay in touch? I'll give you an idea of what we do for marketing, how we take care of clients. And the only thing that I ask for is that when somebody in your circle needs a realtor, you think of me. Would that be okay? Right? You ask for the permission, and most of the time they'll say yes because you've already had that conversation. And some will say no, and it's okay. Like not everybody wants to, I don't know why everybody wouldn't want to work with me, but some people don't. Right? So you just move on, and the point of lead generating all the time is you always have something to fall back on.
Mm-hmm. So I love that. Did you guys hear what she said? She didn't say, do you have a realtor? Do you have a realtor you'd give to your friends? She didn't leave it at that generic. Say it again for us.
If someone you cared about needed a realtor, do you have somebody that you trust to recommend to them?
You guys see the difference? Now we were getting emotions into it. We're talking about feelings. Cared about.
Yeah, and then they'll say, well, my cousin's a realtor, or this person's a realtor, or this person. Awesome. You know what? There's a lot of us. Would you trust them? And a lot of times they'll say no, because their first answer will be, well, yeah, of course I know a realtor. Everybody knows a realtor or four.
Yep.
Right? Just on the Toronto Real Estate Board, we have over 65,000 realtors.
I don't love the 65,000 realtors, but I love the way you approach that question, because it makes them really think. It's not just that I know 15 realtors. Who do I trust?
Who do you trust? Think back to our professionals. They have a lot of realtors to choose from. Mm-hmm. And if they're referring people to us, it means they trust us, they know how we work, and they know we'll take care of the client.
Absolutely love that.
And that goes again, if I'm meeting people door knocking, that's just one method of meeting people. But if you have, and it's a simple conversation, right? Anybody can put those words together. The words are important. Words were important to me before we met Phil Jones.
Oh my gosh, now they're so important, right? Now, do you find yourself like critiquing everything that you say that you're thinking? I find myself doing that a lot.
I don't know if I critique it. I just, I've got my cards. I've got my book, and I'm always reading it, because words are so important. And this is something I do my best to help my team understand this as well. And I think they're slowly coming around. But what you say matters. Because it doesn't matter what you mean. It's what people hear you say. They're not reading your mind. Mm-hmm. And it's better to have a few select words than, blah, 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 and you lose people. And then, so if you have that conversation, so if you found out that they want to buy or sell, or if you find out that they don't have a realtor they trust, then it's very easy to get their contact information. Right? A lot of agents say, well, like, what do you do at the door? How do you get their contact information? Well, you have to have a conversation with them. Right. They have to have, I know it seems simple, but they need to have a reason to share their contact information with you. So if they're moving and they've said they don't have an agent and they said it's okay for you to get in touch, well, duh, of course, I got to get in touch with you somehow. Right. Because if you go for that too soon, they're like, oh my God, like, stop. I don't need you.
So what else are you saying at the door? Or let's say we're at a party and you meet somebody and you're talking about, real estate. What else do you say? What do you sell yourself when you're at the door? How does the conversation continue from there? It
really depends on their conversation.
So I love that. It's not a script, right? It's not a script.
No, because I'll ask more questions first. It's kind of like me going on a listing appointment. I don't have a listing presentation. I find out what's important to them, and I'm going to be touching on those points. Because if you start selling yourself too fast, then they'll shut down. And if you're at the door and you start talking about yourself, well, no, duh, just close the door. So it really is getting to know them. You want to be interested so that you are interesting. So you need to find out what's important to them. What are they doing if you're at a party or whatever it is? I mean, the more questions you ask, the easier it's going to be to figure out what to say, because then you just tack on to whatever they're saying. What's important to them? what's a commonality? Do they have kids? Do they have parents? Whatever that sort of little tie-in is what I'll use. Like you said, do you sell yourself? I guess the answer is it depends. If there is a real estate conversation to be had, then sure, I'll promote whatever part of what was important to them I just found out.
Right. Love that. So we're selling, but not selling. We're just showing what we do that is along the lines of what is important to them.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. So
Exactly.
how about events? So we do you're doing door knocking. Obviously, you're going on listing appointments. How about events? Are we doing many events to stay in touch with our past clients or to attract new clients?
Great question. Yes, we've always done events. The last couple of years, they've been more systematized. And this year, we actually came up with an events calendar. So we have something for every month, and it's in one PDF document, and it's branded, and it's beautiful. So we do have three buckets for our events. So one is educational, so seminars, whether they're first-time sellers. We're doing a moving mom and dad seminar in April. So we kind of rebranded our downsizing seminar to Moving Mom and Dad. So we're actually targeting the adult children of the seniors. First-time seller seminars, anything having to do with seminars in the education bucket. And then we have general events for our
Can I ask you a few questions about the educational first?
Yes.
Okay, so are they virtual or in person?
We've been doing them in person with a virtual option.
Okay. And what are the results? Like what, in terms of like people coming, how many people would make you feel like it's a success?
I would say 20 to 25 would be super successful. Our last downsizing seminar, we had, I think, about 15, which was our biggest, definitely post-COVID.
Okay.
Before COVID, we didn't really do them consistently enough to build up momentum. Our goal now is not just to have the seminars, but to have the consistency, which is, we have the calendar. It's like, well, if you can't make this one, we've got one coming up in the future. And in fact, the sign up for the Moving Mom and Dad seminar says, do you want to come in person? Do you want to be on Zoom? You can't make that date. We'll let you know about the next one. So those are options on the sign in.
Great. And how are you advertising it? Like, how are you getting the message out there?
So maybe I can also tack on the second piece, the second events bucket, because that's community events and contests. So the reverse bold, we call it the call in to win contest. So all of those we market to our database. We post on our own social media. We don't do paid ads anymore because then it's too broad and we can't. We found for us it's not targeted enough. And then we have two big farms. We have one farm that's 3,700 homes and another farm that's 2,600.
Okay, so you're getting good numbers.
We're getting good numbers. So it's our database between email, and we do still send hard copy pieces to about 600 people on our database. I think the last time I checked, we were just over 3,000 names. So we about 2,300 roughly are email, and then the balance is hard copy.
Got it. Got it.
There was a question I just saw in the chat, community events. And actually, are you looking in the chat, Sandra? Because I haven't been.
No, I usually wait until after we.
Community events and contests. So the reverse bold. Who's done a reverse bold? Guys, show of hands. Matt, Sandra, got a few of you. We changed ours up a little bit thanks to Ellie McIntyre. So the traditional reverse bold is you advertise it and then you wait the day of the call-in day for people to call you. I'm way too impatient for that, as is Ellie McIntyre. So when she unveiled her system, I jumped on it right away. So we have a registration period. We promote the event typically for 2 to 3 weeks. The contest for 2 to 3 weeks. And then we have a cutoff date for registration. Typically it's Monday at 5 p.m. And then Tuesday between 12 and 4, we call them. So we know what our results are. Did we get 60 entries? Did we get 150? So we know who's there. We have all of their contact information. Even if we don't get them on the phone, we know that they've entered. So we've captured that information, and it really makes either building the relationship or lead generating with new people a lot easier because we're in control as opposed to sitting and waiting.
Yeah, I think the sitting and waiting can be very frustrating, and sometimes it doesn't really lead to, people don't like to pick up the phone anymore. Like,
Yeah.
even if we're offering, we did $1,000 one, and it was surprising how few people actually wanted to pick up the phone and call.
Wow.
Yeah. But did you have any specific prizes that you found were more successful than others? Tell me it's the green egg. Everybody always says the green egg.
Everybody, well, for us, it was the red egg because we're Canadian, right? No, that was a biggie. After that, I would say the Dyson hairdryer.
Oh, yeah.
Was the next biggest one. And then the Yeti cooler was massive.
Have you ever done?
When we bought this cooler, like I could not believe the cost of it because it was $600 for, we bought the bigger one, and I'm just like, I couldn't wrap my mind around how anybody would pay that for a cooler. But it was a huge draw. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a huge draw.
Have you ever done cash? Do you think that there's a benefit to actually having a prize versus cash?
No, we've done gift cards. Our last sort of mini event, we gave away a $300 gift card to one of our steakhouses. So that was fairly popular. But no, no.
Yeah, I've seen the Yeti cooler. I've seen a lot of agents do that, and it seems like it's very successful. So maybe we'll give that one a try next.
The Wi-Fi. You might want to check the connection settings.
I'm going to mute myself and figure out what's going on.
Well, and while you're doing that, I can talk about our third bucket, and that is our VIP program. So those are more micro events, anywhere from 50 to 25 people that are smaller. They're more special. Either they're wine and cheese events at our house, or nails and toes, girls, mani-pedi. We've now done 2 men's events. One is coming up next week, which have been incredibly successful, even more so than the women's events. And it's we host it at a local high-end barbershop, and we offer haircuts and straight shaves and scalp massages and whiskey tasting and wine with some snacks. And that's been really, really great. Those are expensive because it's a very expensive barbershop, but we get so much traction out of that because it's, the event is fun, obviously, but like I keep reminding our agents, it's the lead up, the invite, and then the follow up that's critical. Even if they don't show up to the event, it doesn't matter. They were invited. Were made to feel special, and you had a reason to call somebody. Other than, do you want to buy or sell?
Yeah, exactly.
Really, again, it's deepening that relationship. So the VIP events are to either deepen the relationship or allow our VIPs to bring somebody that's really special to them. So we always give them an opportunity for a +1.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And how about do vendors help pay for it, or is it you guys just cover it yourselves?
Yeah, so it's been a mix. We've had sort of a mix of the two, of us covering it and vendors covering it. We have a couple, like our portfolio advisor and the mortgage broker that I mentioned to you. They're always supporting us. So I need to start finding, other people who want to be involved. So we're not always going to them, even though we send them tons of business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it is nice to defray that cost a little bit, for sure. Toronto's expensive.
Absolutely. For me, it's a little bit hard. Sometimes I just want to I'll just pay for it because it's easier. I don't want to have to deal with somebody else. But I think when we can get into a system, like you said earlier, you've got the marketing plan, right? When we've got a plan and a system in place for even things like vendors, I think it makes it a lot easier. So that's something that we're definitely working on, is trying to be a little more consistent with how we do it. And like you, planning ahead. We tend to be, we have a lot of systems and planning, but when it comes to events, it feels like it's a fire drill. Like, oh, it's time, hurry up, let's go do it. And we're trying to learn how to do it a little more relaxed so that we enjoy it. It's sometimes very stressful on us. Do you have an event planner that does it for you?
So right now, Bridget on our team, she's moving into full-time events. That will be her sole job. But no, it's really kind of me driving it and the team executing. It would be really nice for me to have a lot less involvement, because that's not my 20%. My 20% is lead generating for listings and lead generating for talent. So when I can get myself to a point where that's all I do, I'll be really happy. And then eventually I'd like to get rid of the lead generating for listings. And you and I are going to talk about that because you've done that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that, once you can get away from being distracted from all those other things, then you can do the lead gen at a much higher level. So you'll actually make more by doing less.
Exactly. It's the 10X model for sure.
Yep, love that. All right. Another thing I think that I see you doing well is you're doing video.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're doing a great job. I love it.
Thank
So
you.
tell me a little bit about that. How long have you been doing video? Is this, how comfortable are you? Were you comfortable when you started? Because we get a lot of people that probably on this Zoom do not want to do it. I don't want to do it. I hate being on video. Someday I might get over it. I don't know. But tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, it's definitely a mindset shift that you need to get over. And the bad video that you do is better than the amazing video that you never sent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So lots of people don't like to be on camera. If you're just authentic and real, people will respond to that. You asked when I started. Honestly, I don't remember. It's been a while.
Okay.
It's been a while because we were using the BombBomb program from I think probably 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes back quite a ways. And how was I at the beginning? I was crap. Like, who's good at video right off the bat, right? The only way you're going to get better is by practicing. Now I'm at a point where I'm often a one-take wonder, because I've done it so much that I know what to say. And if I make a mistake, nobody knows that I made a mistake. So I'm good at just kind of getting right through it and getting to the end. I've been doing less of the listing walkthrough videos because I'm trying to get my team to do that. Mm-hmm. But as far as my agent referrals, it's always, we get so many emails from out of area agents. I always find if I've got my little face there with a quick blurb, it helps people remember me. And even if I'm silly, or, if I'm standing out back in our yard at the pool in the summer, it's really, you're much more memorable with video for sure.
Yeah. And you're a real person. Like, we can see that a little bit more about your personality when we see a video. I love that. Absolutely. And you're like at the point where you're like over yourself. If you make a mistake, oh well, we'll go on. You have enough videos out there that, one blooper is not going to affect you.
Yeah,
whereas
sure.
For people trying to start, it's like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. Oh, like take number 20. We're still, oh, let's keep going. And then we never post it. So sure,
that's it. You gotta just make sure you get it out there for sure.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, well, I love watching your videos. Share with everybody where they can see your videos, what your Facebook is. Is it Facebook?
Facebook. If you guys look me up here, I'm just going to put my my contact info in the chat. I think my Facebook is facebook.com/IreneKB. Gosh, I don't even remember.
If you just put your name, is it under your full name?
Yeah.
All right. Then they should find you there. And then do you put your videos also on YouTube?
Yeah, we do. I haven't looked at the YouTube channel for a while. There's to friend me on Facebook. And I am Facebook and LinkedIn. I am not very visible on Instagram. So if you guys find me on Instagram, don't send me a message because I probably won't see it for like 3 weeks. Although I am on Instagram a little teeny tiny bit, there's only so much that you can concentrate on, and Facebook and LinkedIn are my thing. Yeah, the videos on Facebook, I need to work on those a little bit because I've been doing my Facebook lives and they're starting to get a little bit too long. I'm, people's attention spans are shrinking daily, it seems. So I will trim those down a little bit. The YouTube channel is on our list to beef up and improve. It hasn't quite made it to the top of the list. We're really working on our systems and making sure that our buyer and seller experiences are uniform and consistent. I have to finish my onboarding manual. The ops team is working on the operations manual. I want to come up with our own list of scripts, right? There's always things to do.
Yeah,
And
there's
plus,
so many things.
we got to sell houses, right? Ultimately.
Exactly.
There's only so much to do.
So you mentioned something in there that I wanted to just pick out for a second, the client experience.
Yes.
Are you doing any of the surprise and delight kind of things that Brady does? Are you giving gifts throughout the process?
So our surprise and delight process is not as systematized as I would like it to be. It's definitely the Brady Sandall team system is definitely what I would aspire to. We're doing little things throughout the process, but just not as regularly as Brady and his team do. One of the things that has been really, really effective for us, especially with homes that have been in the family for a really long time, is doing memory books when we're done with the sale. So we will actually get the photos, high-res photos, and print them and put them in a nice hardcover book. If anybody's been in the house for any length of time, or it's an estate sale, or, like I've got one this afternoon, we're going to sell in multiple offers. There's the senior, she's 84 years old, and then there's 3 siblings and spouses. So we will get 4 books.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love that. We actually do the books too. And I always tell my agents, if you make them cry, you did a great job.
Yeah.
And they'll feel bad. They're like, oh, she cried. I'm like, no, that's amazing. That's what we want. We want them to love it so much that they cry.
Yeah, absolutely. Throughout the process, we do a lot for our listings. We clean we clean houses, we wash windows, we really walk the clients through every step of the way. I know that sounds like a little bit of a cliche, but we always want them to know what's happening next. And if there's an opportunity to do like a little gift here and there, like if they worked really, really hard to get the house ready, we'll get them, a couples massage so that, they can relax. We like to do everything we can to make the gifts a little bit more special too.
Right.
So I have explicitly forbidden my team to get gift cards.
Okay, so they have to be thoughtful, and that's hard. That's not always easy.
Yeah, it's not always easy. Now, I did break that rule about a month ago. We sold this beautiful newer construction $3 million house, and our clients were coming from a fairly small house. So the whole idea, like the kitchen was completely empty with these, beautiful drawers. And she's like, what do I do for my organizers and this, that, and the other? So I got her gift card to Williams-Sonoma because they have some really beautiful pieces that you could put in the kitchen. So, in that respect, it was a little bit less personal, but very useful.
Right. And you listened, you heard what she needed. And so I'm sure she appreciated it even more because it was for a specific thing that she needed and didn't know what to do. That's great. I love that. Well, let's open it up for some questions. Sure. If anybody has questions, you can raise. I'm not so good with the questions. Usually Crystal's here with me reading the questions for us. So
I can help you out with that, Sandra.
Oh, there she is. This is this is Kristen. She is our executive assistant. So thank you for being here.
Of course. So we do have a few questions. Shelly's asking, what price range are you doing door knocking?
Oh, the higher the better.
Oh, I love that. I love that question, and that you just said that.
Oh,
Tell us about that.
The higher the price point, the less people are door knocking, and you know, I'm very fortunate because I've been at this for a while. And as far as door knocking, I've been doing it since, you know, January 7th, 1992. When I got into real estate, I said to my broker, what do I do? She said, door knock. And I'm like, okay, it's January, it's Toronto. I guess I'm going door knocking. It was very cold. But yeah, the higher the price point, the less competition you have in that respect. And although you're always people that will turn up their nose at you, it doesn't matter. You're not looking for those. You're looking for the ones that appreciate that you're actually working hard.
Love that. Love that. You said the higher, the better. All right. Any other questions, Kristen?
Yes, Michelle would like to know, how many weeks ahead of time do you start promoting each event?
Ooh, great question. So it depends on the event. The contests, we shrunk the promotion time to, I think it's about 3 weeks, less than 4, because we used to do 6 and we were losing steam. And then it depends. Like some events, like our VIP end of summer party that we have at our house every Saturday after Labor Day. So the first Saturday after Labor Day is our VIP client party. We have it catered. We have, you know, the pool is open. Everybody comes. We have that on autopilot. So we're really just a matter of, so when do we need to put in the rental order? When do we need to organize the food? That is a little bit, so that's sort of 6 to 8 weeks. But then it really depends. It depends on how long we need to organize the venue. It depends on if we've done the event before or not. I really wanted to do a shredding event in May, and we can't get a location or have like a space for it because nobody has ever done a shredding party that I know of in the Greater Toronto area. And I really wanted to be the first. So we may not be able to do it this spring. I kind of wanted to do it in May after tax season, but we're having issues with, you know, getting a location and getting, you know, insurance and this, that, and the other. So we might throw in a contest. Instead of that, we might throw in a Mother's Day contest. But overall, I would say, I mean, if you haven't done events, Michelle, I would say, you know, 8 to 12 weeks, start thinking about it for sure. And then it really depends on the size of it. So if it's a micro event, you need a little bit less lead time. If it's a bigger event, you want more lead time because you want that opportunity to call people, right? You want to send out the invite and then have the reason to pick up the phone and call.
How many people are you inviting to your VIP event? The one at your house?
Well, for past clients, I think we have about 700. So I invite everybody. I mean, you typically only get about 10% showing up, but everybody gets an invite.
Wow. All right. That's great. And do you do it by email, or are you sending actual like postcards or invitations?
Email.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too pricey to start. Like we found someone actually in our farm who does calligraphy envelopes, and it was going to be like, I don't know, like $3 each.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not worth it. I know there's services to do that, and I'm still potentially investigating that, but yeah, it's email. We've tried Evite, we haven't tried Eventbrite for our big events. I don't know, we might try it. It's a challenge because you never know when invites go into spam, especially because we're on Follow Up Boss, and I would say that's one of the few weaknesses of the system is when you do mass emails, they really go into spam a lot. So we've stopped sending mass emails from Follow Up Boss. We've integrated MailChimp and send emails via MailChimp through Follow Up Boss or whatever. I don't know. It's the both systems or whatever. The emails get out and fewer of them go into spam.
Great. All right. Any other questions in there, Kristen?
Yes, Irene. Karen wants to know how you get around communities that are gated when you're door knocking.
We don't have gated communities.
That's easy to get around.
Easy. And yeah, honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know how you would. Obviously, that's not an objection, it's a condition. So can't help you.
Okay. What days and times do you door knock?
Right.
Is there a system?
I like to go 3:30, 4 o'clock weekdays, Monday through Thursday. I generally don't lead generate on Fridays. That's my day to meet with the team and work on planning and strategizing in areas where I need my brain. So I like that late afternoon time because I find I get more people at home. A couple of times I've gone Saturday morning, which is amazing because you get like 60 to 70% ratio of people at home. But it is Saturday morning and I work a lot during the week. So I don't make that a habit. Plus I have my Spanish lesson Saturday morning.
Nice.
Awesome.
And the last question, Shelley wants to know if there are scripts you're using when you're door knocking.
Yes, I go with a reason. So we're either promoting a new sale or a new listing, or in the farm, we're promoting an event or giving out yard bags. We have branded yard bags that are like, we use them pretty much from like April through November, which is a really great, it's value add. So it's something to give to people. And if they say, oh, I'm not selling, it's okay. I'm just here to give you some yard bags. Want to know if you have any questions about what's going on in the market. Do you need anything for the house? Do you need, I just got my roofer a $20,000 roofing job from door knocking in the farm because I said, do you need anybody? Do you need painter, plumber, roofer? He said, actually, we do need a roofer. So that was a really nice referral from my roofer.
Yeah, and you just took that to a whole nother level. Somebody who, typically when they say, no, I'm not selling, people walk away at that point, right? Or they say,
Exactly.
well, here's my card, keep me in mind. But you took it one step further and asked, who do you need? Who can I help you with? Now you connected them with your roofer. Who's the roofer going to call the next time he has somebody that is looking to buy or sell? Because he's going to want to repay you, right? So that one little kind gesture that you did will probably pay back multiple ways.
Absolutely. I will never go door knocking if I don't have a reason to. Like if I have a specific buyer that's looking in a neighborhood, that's reason enough for me. Because that's for real. Like if I really have a buyer, but like, hi, do you want to sell your house?
Not your game.
Nope.
Okay.
No, I find that's much more difficult. It's more difficult to establish a relationship. Like, hi, I'm here. Do you want to buy, sell, or invest? Yeah, no. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for my style.
All right. I hope my whole team is on here listening to this. I think we missed one question, or maybe I missed it. What gifts do you bring to the listing presentation? Did we answer that one?
We didn't. I generally don't.
I don't either. I tried it once. We started getting candles, and the first 3 listing appointments that we went on as a team, while we gave candles, they signed with somebody else. They thanked us for the candles. They even sent us notes thanking us, and then they listed with somebody else. So we stopped. We're like, the candles are doomed.
Yeah, no. I mean, depending if it's a past client that I haven't seen in a while, I'll bring some wine or flowers for sure. But a cold listing appointment, no. I want to charm them with me and my team stuff. Yeah, I'm not charming them with gifts.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one not giving anything. All right. Anybody have any other questions while we are here?
Do you mail out invitations for the seminars? Yeah, I think we touched on that. They go into our farm, so they go via ad mail. So it's just general mail, not addressed. Because I mean, 5,300 addressed letters, that would be crazy. Days and times. Yeah, I think we covered.
We did cover them all.
Yeah, if anybody has a burning question afterwards, please just reach out to me. Email or Facebook Messenger is best. Text is my least favorite form of communication. Or WhatsApp. You can WhatsApp me.
WhatsApp. Okay, sounds great. And you are regional ambassador for luxury, correct? Yeah. So tell us, what does that mean? How did you get chosen for that special role? I know because you're amazing.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'd like to say I was the best person for the job. It's possibly that I was the only person for the job.
No.
Really hard to get Canadians to buy into travel. I've been going down to the luxury retreats when they were retreats since 2010. So I was always part of the luxury community. I was always part of the network. When we had years ago, we had the Luxury Leadership Council that was established. I was part of that. So I applied, and of course I sent in the reasons why I wanted to be ambassador. Honestly, it would have been great if they had more people to choose from. I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard.
You're too humble. You
It's
you were
really
chosen
hard
because
to
you're
get.
amazing.
Sorry.
You were chosen because you were amazing, and you are
Thank
such
you.
a great giver. Like you, I think that these positions are so important to have somebody who will share their story and will give and, speak at events and things like that. And you're always so giving. So we greatly appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, and it really is. It's participation and contribution. Right?
Absolutely.
How you
Absolutely.
participate in here is how you participate out there. That's what they tell us in bold, right?
I love that.
Oh, I'm doing another bold. I'm doing another
You
bold
are?
with my team. Yes, 2 of my team members are doing it with me. We're starting in April.
Wow. How many years in and you're still going to bold? I think that's a big
it'll
testimonial
be
for
my
bold.
4th or 5th. I think it's my 4th or 5th. The last one I did finished in March of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, like it finished just as everything was shutting down.
Wow. Well, that's going to be fun to go back to that.
I
Well,
think so.
today after this, I'm literally jumping in the car and driving to Tampa because we have the Luxury Pro series.
Yes, that's right. The 19th.
Yep. So I know a lot of people aren't here today because they are at the Luxury Pro. So I got a 4-hour drive to get to Tampa. I'll be there
Oh my
tonight for the
goodness.
festivities, and then I'll be there for the event tomorrow. So I'm super excited about that.
Well, Sandra, thank you for having me. I'm going to jump off because I've got my MAPS coaching call at noon.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate everybody showing up. We had an amazing turnout. This is fabulous, Sandra.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Any of you want to reach out to me, please go ahead. I'm happy to help.
All right, great. Thank you. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
I am going to share one more thing with you guys really quick, is that we are putting together a great training class with Bev Knight. She was one of our guests. Oh, it's been a couple of months now on her videos. She does an amazing job on videos. So Bev, I don't know if you're still on here. I saw you on here earlier, but thank you for agreeing to do that. I will get that information out to everybody who wants to join. It'll be a Zoom on an off day. So it won't be one of our regular scheduled Mastering Luxury, but I will get that information to you guys if you were here. And I hope that you'll join us when we do that. It should be, I think April 4th is what we're aiming for. So hopefully we'll see you then. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, text me, call me. I'm happy to help with anything luxury or not luxury. All right, guys, make it a great day, and we will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Karen.
Bye. Have a great day, honey. Good to see you.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.